I'm telling you, that's why he's such a good businessman. He was bad in other areas, but he was good at math. Now, he wasn't good at following directions. He's bad at not reading the directions, and boy, did he install things backwards and stuff. That's where he was bad at. I won't read the directions either, by the way. I'll just start putting stuff together without reading the directions. I'm the same way. But I don't have his math skills. And I'm not the worst at it. I usually pull my calculator out. But on the miles and the minutes, if I look at it wrong, I'll tell the wrong one. I don't look at it just right. Because you got so many miles and you got so many minutes. That's the difference. Or when you're going somewhere. I really kept that straight while I was going to Florida. Of course, watching that, to be honest, watching that GPS for hours, I kind of did get a little better at it. Because I'm telling you, I watched it all the way down there. Normally, I don't do that. I didn't usually have the phone to do it. Because them Androids were sucky. I couldn't even run it. With all my apps I had, I couldn't run no GPS. What would happen is you turn it on, eventually you just get a full black screen and you have a triangle on it. A moving triangle up a black screen. Couldn't see nothing. Of course, I always have a bunch of music apps and everything else. I think that's it, if I sit in the daylight. See, I can't hardly sit in the daylight. Yeah, that's it. I hate when that sun's almost the exact color as it. Of course, I might adjust my settings on the OBS. I don't want to do that. Yeah, if you start messing with that, you have to mess with it with every single game. If you set it with one game, it doesn't work with the other game. But each game has its own settings. I just try to leave it. I try to leave it at default. But I start fucking with it. It's fucked up on other games. Okay. Guess you got one so far. We're just trying to earn that money. And earn that money. I'm working for the million. But right now we're going to focus on the 800,000. And you're welcome to join me and see how long it takes me to reach today. I know we reached the 700,000 by this weekend. Thank the Lord, because that's what I didn't actually advertise it, but that's what I was shooting for the weekend. I done it. Trent done it. That's why I let him party. And notice I let him party. Well, damn it.
Fucking hell, man. That is messed up.
Give him hell. Okay, there we go. Give him hell, Christy. I shouldn't have took time to do that though, because that takes out of your stream. It takes out of your stream. I mean, your time to get to, you know, that you want to get them before they get cold. And that took out of the time to get them cold. But him knocking me off my motorcycle did too. See if I can fix it. I play with it. It just won't turn now. I'm having trouble turning. Of course, I did have it in a travel bag. The bag might have mashed the sticks or something.
Hey, Pip.
I've had that happen many a time. Like even back with PlayStation. I take my PS2, 3. Only took PS1 one time. Right next year I had the PlayStation 2. So, for years it was the PlayStation 2, and then I eventually got a PS3. I didn't get a PS3 to 2009. So you can imagine, it was PS2 for many years up until 2009. So from 2001 to 2009, I traveled with a PS2. By the way, second favorite, it wasn't that big either. To be honest, even the bulky PS2s isn't that big when it comes to traveling. Just throw it in a bag and travel with it. I wasn't as little as this thing. Slim was my least damn favorite PS2. Because one, I didn't really like. I liked this portability, but I liked the old one better. You know what I'm saying? Now I'll tell you, it was easier to throw in a bag and carry with you. One year it's all carry. Because I didn't feel like packing anything in it. It was more portable than the Series S. You know what I'm talking about, the PS. Indeed, I did take it one year. Now I let my great nephew borrow it and take it in the bedroom and at the hotel and play it in there, and it got drug off from the floor and it broke it. And there would play PS2 games. I mean, once it fell on the floor, it would play the PS1 games, but it wouldn't play PS2 games. So I had to eventually replace it with a silver one. I found a silver one on eBay. Replaced it with it. So they were already out of the store by the time they got knocked out. I don't think he's the one that dragged it off. I think it was my daddy. I don't remember who dragged it off. Somebody drug it off. And I just forgot to go in there and get it. Because I was playing games, he wanted to play games. And he come down there and asked me, could we play games? And I let him borrow my PS2 and took it in the bedroom. He wanted to play it. He saw I had the PS2 games. So I want to play some of them games. You let me? And I said, yeah, we'll go hook it in the bedroom. So I did. No, I went in and hooked it up, and I forgot to get it. I think it's my daddy that knocked it off. It might have been somebody else. I think he's the one that knocked it off. He didn't ever play PS2 games again. It only played PS1 games. And you can play PS1 games, so you can play PS2 games. After it fell off on that hard floor. They got wood floors down there now. I hated them old floors they used to have. Back before, like at one time they had ugly carpet. And then it got flooded once before, but it wasn't quite as bad. They had to repair them. And then they put in these old really rough floors. It's rough on my feet and everything. Now they replaced them with hardwood floors, I believe. And they didn't do that perfect. But I did like the hardwood floor better than the floors that they had in there. Back when that PlayStation was not on. You know, I got completely destroyed. Our room was one of those that was completely, like, underwater.
I need to get home.
Like, in the water. So, they had to redo them. They put hardwood floors in. They also put these little air conditioners. I like that little thing. Claimed they had heat on it, too. I wouldn't mind having one of those in my room. You know, I don't have the central heat and air. They're called ductless
You owe me $20.
units.
Well, I didn't take it.
I had to use a space heater and I had to put it in the center of the floor. A lot of times it blocks the door off, and if you go out of the room, you have to actually unplug it and move it out of the way. Ooh! Yeah. I don't think this is gonna make it. I don't even think we're anywhere where we can get a pizza today. Nah, that's just old thing. See, they got code. That's what I was talking about. I must have mashed my sticks, because they're not turning right. That has happened to me many a times over the years traveling with the PlayStation 3 to. Like I said, I only played with the PS1, the actual PS, one time taking it to vacation. Because I bought it, then you know that the PS2 was coming out within that next year. So I saved my money. I actually had my money on the day light, but then I didn't get one. Because the minute they got to me and my sister, they ran out. Old woman in front of us. And I started a fuss. And she starts saying, I'm buying it for my kids. I said, yeah, and you put it in layaway. I said, I actually had my freaking cash.
Hi.
Then they started shooing me out, and I said, don't worry, I'm going. I'm telling you, I sat and saved up the money for it. I saved up every dime, so I'd have it. And then I got one probably about a couple weeks later, 2 or 3 weeks later. It took about 2 or 3 weeks. It wasn't that long. Boy, $200 seems like nothing now when you think of what these consoles cost today. That's what the PS2 cost for launch. It's $200 and some dollars. Was it $220 something? I had to save it up. I don't remember. Those are the days, man. You could put your lunch money up. If you knew what date the lunch was coming, you could put your lunch money up and save up $200. Like I said, if I'd have been a kid, I want to grow up. I could have saved my lunch money up and bought that PlayStation 2. For $200. If you got 5 a week, 5, 10, 15, 20. 5, 10, 15, 20, that's 40. 5, 10, 15, 20. That's another. See, I learned how to count real quick with them lunch monies. Usually you had about $5 because they would be like $1 and something a day. And you had a little bit of change with it. I'd buy tapes that way, but boy, I got in trouble for that. I'd just pocket the money and eat when I got home. That's what I'd do. I'd be hungry. Oh, I'd be hungry, but I was willing to. If it bought me a tape, there were 2 weeks I could buy tape. Every 2 weeks I could buy a hard rock tape, and I did it until they caught me. They accused my mama. They was actually going to start taking her to court for it. And she said, I sent him one.